Hi and welcome to EMDR Remote. I'm here to show you how to join your therapist as a client and also how to troubleshoot any problems you have along the way. So you'll want to go to emdrremote.com. Make sure that you're not going to Doxy or Zoom or anything else. emdrremote.com is where you want to go. And click on Join My Therapy Session, which is right up here to the right. And then you're going to want to type in your therapist name right here. So for me, I'm going to type in Amy since I'm going to be the therapist I'm joining, and then I'll see their name pop up, and then just click Join Therapy Session. So then it'll ask you for your name or your appointment time, so I'm going to go ahead and put my appointment time and hit OK. And then I'm going to wait right here until my therapist joins me, and in the meantime you can look at the background pictures if you'd like to have a background picture behind your light bar. When it's going, you can choose a background picture if you'd like. Please make sure to inform your therapist that you've chosen a background picture and what that background picture is, because there is some therapeutic value in them knowing and being aware and helping you choose that. And that will happen where your background will be on just while the light bar is on. And then enable BLS is right here. You'll only click that if you're doing the audio bilateral stimulation. Now, please remember that if you are on an iPhone or an iPad, Apple doesn't allow two audio sources. So your therapist's audio on the talk therapy version portion of your therapy is one audio, and the BLS is another audio. So if you're going to use the audio, please make sure that you're on a Mac computer, PC computer, or any Android device. But only click that if your therapist tells you to do so. When your therapist is ready for you, you'll see this come up, and you should hit Allow Audio and Video. This is the point where most people get stopped up, because most people just hit block out of habit, and you don't need to do that. So you want to hit allow, and then you should be connected with your therapist. What you just saw is how easy it should be to connect with your therapist, but I'm going to show you some troubleshooting tips just in case it's not this easy for you. The main things that I'm going to go over are making sure that you're on emdrremote.com. So that's emdrremote.com, and you're not on Zoom or Doxy or any other service. Also, I'm going to go over changing your browser oftentimes fixes issues, trying incognito window or private window in Chrome or one of the other web browsers. Changing your headset. Oftentimes cheaper headsets work a little bit better, actually, we found. Not being on a work computer, and also making sure your camera is clean and unblocked. So let's get started on troubleshooting. So in this situation, I can see my therapist is right there. That's the therapist. And me as a client, I should be up in the corner here. So I should see myself as well, but I don't. And so a couple things that could be the matter is, one, is there a line through your video? If so, click the video and your video should be enabled. Now you see me as the client right up there. So you see my finger right there. That's where the client would be, that because I'm watching it as a client. The right here, mute, unmute button, same thing. If the line's through it, you're muted. The other thing is you want to check these little boxes right here. So mine, I only have one source for video, but I have multiple sources for my mic. So you want to make sure that the correct one is chosen. And so that's step one. I'm going to go ahead and disable these and show you the next step. If everything down here by the hang up button looks good, then you want to make sure that if you're using a work computer, that your IT department has not locked that computer. Oftentimes that can create issues for people. please contact your IT department and make sure that the following ports are open: TCP 4443 and UD like David, P like Paul, so UDP 10,000. That needs to be open as well. Your IT department should know how to do all that. Whether you're on a work computer or not, try changing browsers. If you're using Chrome or Edge, try to use Firefox. If you're using Firefox, try Chrome or Edge. If you're using Safari, the same thing. Try a different browser. That oftentimes works because sometimes one browser will have settings or pop-up blockers or what have you that other ones don't. You can also go into your current browser and double check that the pop-up blockers are disabled for our site. You can generally YouTube search this and they'll have a video on how to do this with your favorite browser. If that doesn't work, try restarting your browser and plug in your mic before you restart the browser. If that doesn't work, try to restart the computer and have your mic that you're using, have it plugged in before you restart your computer, so that way your computer and the browser and everything else recognizes the mic that you've got plugged in as your primary mic. If you're on Chrome, look near the X at the top right hand side of your screen, that X that usually closes out the browser. Right underneath it, there are 3 dots. Click those 3 dots and click New Incognito Window. In Firefox, and it's in a very similar spot, it's just called New Private Window. You can always Google these things based on your browser, how to open up a private browser. And then go to EMDR Remote from there, and it should allow you to hit Allow My Video and Audio, and it will oftentimes also reset any issues that you might have with your stored cache and all of that stuff in the regular browser. One last tip is, if your mic isn't working, simply unplug your mic and use your computer audio just to see if it's something that would help. If after watching all these troubleshooting tips you're still having issues, please have your therapist contact us and we can do a face-to-face walkthrough or we can answer any questions that you have. So have your therapist email us at info@emdrremote.com.